Tabasco sauce isn't just any hot sauce. It's the gold standard. The spicy royalty. The fiery little bottle that has been setting mouths ablaze for over 150 years. And here's a wild fact to kick things off. Every single bottle of Tabasco sauce you've ever tasted comes from one place, Avery Island, Louisiana. Yep, this isn't some mass-produced corporate hot sauce. It's still made the old-school way, in the same place where it was first created in the 1860s. So what's the behind-the-scene magic of this tiny bottle of fire? Stay tuned because things are going to get spicy. It all starts with the peppers, the legendary Tabasco peppers. They're not your average chili. They're small, bright red, and absolutely packed with heat and flavor. And here's something fascinating. Every pepper used for the sauce is descended from seeds that the McElhenney family, yes, the OG hot sauce makers, cultivated over a century ago. That's right. Each pepper is a direct descendant of the originals. These peppers aren't just tossed into the dirt and left to do their thing. Growing the perfect Tabasco pepper takes patience, precision, and a whole lot of sun. The McElhenney Company still follows time-honored farming traditions, ensuring these little spice bombs get exactly what they need. Avery Island, Louisiana is hot, humid, and practically designed by nature to grow chili peppers. The soil is rich, thanks to centuries of sediment deposits, and the climate is absolutely ideal for getting that perfect heat level. The peppers take about 80 days to ripen, and when they turn that signature deep red, it's go time. But here's the thing, not just anyone can pick these peppers. Oh no, this isn't some free-for-all pepper-plucking party. Harvesters are trained to use le petit bâton rouge, a literal little red stick that's painted the exact shade of a perfectly ripe Tabasco pepper. If the pepper matches the stick, boom, pick it. If it doesn't, then leave it to ripen a little longer. And this isn't just a cute farming tradition, it ensures consistency. Every bottle of Tabasco sauce needs to taste the same, no matter when or where you buy it. If one batch of peppers is too green or overripe, the whole flavor profile changes. So, every single pepper that makes it into the Tabasco sauce has passed this old-school stick test. Once the peppers are picked, they're immediately sorted and inspected. Any bruised, damaged, or less than perfect ones don't make the cut. Only the freshest, ripest, and most vibrant peppers are sent off to the next step. Because when you're making a sauce that's been around for over 150 years, you don't mess around with quality control. And here's another interesting fact. While most of the peppers are still grown on Avery Island, Tabasco farms now exist in multiple countries, including Mexico, Colombia, and even as far as Zambia. That's because demand for this sauce is insane, and spreading out the farms ensures there's always a steady supply of those spicy little peppers. Now that we have the freshest, ripest Tabasco peppers, it's time to mash them up. And we're not talking about a gentle blend. You crush them whole. Seeds, skins, pulp, everything. The peppers are sent through massive industrial grinders that pulverize thousands of pounds of peppers at a time. The result is a thick, deep red, spicy as heck pepper mash that already smells so strong it'll clear your sinuses from across the room. Once the peppers are crushed, salt is added immediately. Plus, it's a special salt, Avery Island salt. Yep, the same location that grows the peppers also has a massive natural salt dome beneath it. This salt isn't just local, it's some of the purest, most mineral-rich salt in the world. And that's a big deal because salt isn't just about seasoning here. It also works as a preservative. When this salt is mixed into the mash, it locks in the flavor and starts fermentation. Without this step, the peppers would spoil long before they ever became hot sauce. Think of the salt as Tabasco's first line of defense. It keeps the mash fresh while deepening the flavors. And get this, the mash is so powerful that the factory workers handling it wear protective gear, including gloves and face masks. That's because one accidental whiff of this raw, concentrated pepper blend is enough to make your eyes water, your throat burn, and your sinuses beg for mercy. But if you think we're ready to bottle this spicy goodness, you'd be wrong, because this mash is about to take a long, luxurious nap. If you are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit that like button. Here's where things get legendary. Instead of rushing the process, Tabasco mash is aged in massive white oak barrels for up to 3 years. 3 years! This bottle of Tabasco in your kitchen has been through years of careful aging, salt curing, and taste testing before it ever landed in your hands. That's some serious dedication for a sauce that people splash onto their eggs in 3 seconds flat. And these barrels we're talking about here have history. They're repurposed from old whiskey barrels, which means every batch of Tabasco mash gets aged in wood that's already absorbed deep, rich flavors from aging spirits. But before the mash is sealed inside, something special happens. The top of each barrel is covered in a thick layer of Avery Island salt. This creates a natural barrier that seals in the flavor while allowing the mash to breathe and ferment. There are no chemicals or artificial preservatives, just time, salt, and nature doing its thing. Now you might be wondering, why age hot sauce mash for 3 years? Simple. Aging transforms the flavor. At the start, the mash is just pure raw heat. But as it sits in those oak barrels, something magical happens. The salt interacts with the peppers, breaking them down and mellowing out some of the harsh, upfront spiciness. The natural sugars in the peppers develop deeper, richer flavors. The wood from the barrels adds subtle, smoky notes. Think of it like how cheese, wine, or whiskey improve with age. Except this is hot sauce, and instead of getting smoother, it gets more intense and complex. But how do they know when it's ready? That's where the master testers come in. They personally check every batch, making sure the flavors are balanced, the heat level is just right, and there's no weird off notes. And if a batch isn't up to par, it doesn't make the cut. No exceptions. At this point, the mash is still super thick. It's basically a concentrated flavor bomb. But there's one final step before it turns into the Tabasco sauce we all know and love. Once the mash has spent years aging like a fine bourbon, it's finally ready for the last crucial ingredient: vinegar. Tabasco sauce uses high-quality distilled white vinegar, which is slowly added to the aged mash. The vinegar is stirred in over the course of several weeks, allowing it to seep deep into the pepper mash and extract every last bit of flavor. Have you ever wondered why Tabasco has that signature tang that hits you right before the heat kicks in? That's the magic of this slow infusion process. Did you ever notice that some hot sauces are just straight-up heat with no real depth? That's because they skip this step. Tabasco makers know that flavor takes time, and by gradually blending the vinegar with the aged pepper mash, they ensure that every drop of sauce is infused with maximum complexity. And here's a fun fact. The McElhenney family has never changed this process. That's right, the same slow mixing technique used back in the 1800s is still followed today. After weeks of blending, the mixture is strained through fine screens to remove any leftover pepper skins and seeds. What's left is a smooth, perfectly balanced, spicy yet tangy liquid that's ready to set your taste buds on fire. Now that the sauce is ready, it's time for bottling. But not just any bottling. Tabasco is still packaged in its iconic glass bottle, with its signature diamond-shaped label, just like it was in the 1800s. These bottles fly down the production line at lightning speed, getting filled, capped, labeled, and boxed up for shipment all over the world. And here's a mind-blowing fact. Over 700,000 bottles of Tabasco sauce are made every single day. That's enough hot sauce to douse every meal in America, multiple times. And before they leave the factory, each bottle goes through one last quality check. Because when you've been making hot sauce for over a century, perfection is non-negotiable. Tabasco sauce isn't just for eggs and Bloody Marys. It's a global phenomenon. It's used in everything from Michelin-starred restaurants to ready-to-eat meals for soldiers. It's been sent to space with NASA astronauts. It's even been featured in the official U.S. military survival kit because nothing boosts morale like a little spice. And if you've ever wondered why Tabasco has such a thin, pourable consistency compared to chunkier hot sauces, that's intentional. The McElhenney family designed it that way so a little goes a long way. So, The next time you douse your food in Tabasco, just remember, you're tasting over 150 years of history, a 3-year aging process, and peppers that have been carefully cultivated for generations. From those hand-picked peppers to the salt-sealed barrels, Tabasco isn't just a condiment, it's an experience. It's fire, flavor, and history bottled up in that tiny glass container. So here's the ultimate question. How do you like your Tabasco? Are you the type to drizzle it on everything? Or do you have a secret recipe where it shines? Drop a comment below and let us know. And if you love learning about how your favorite foods are made, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mouth-watering factory deep dives. Until next time, stay spicy, and thanks for watching.